Okay, our final study in our starter dysfunctional behaviour is Ford, 1989, looking at biases in diagnosis, so sex biases in diagnosis of mental disorders, and he's looking particularly at personality disorders. He wanted to see if the sort of diagnosis is determined by stereotypical views, so adjectives you might use for male, female, which come about by society, so situational. So the aim is to find out if clinicians were stereotyping genders when diagnosing disorders. Now, the method he used was self-report. He had health practitioners were given case studies, scenarios, and asked to make a diagnosis based on the information that they received. And this was sent to them via the post. It was just something for them to read and diagnose. Now, they're looking for differences. So the independent variable was the gender of the patient, male, female, or sex unspecified. And the dependent variable was the diagnosis made by the clinician. Now, it was randomly assigned. 1,127 participants were chosen, clinicians were chosen. Of those, 354 were randomly selected. Of those, only 266 of the psychologists responded to their case histories when they were delivered. So each participant was either given male, female, or unspecified case study, and they were randomly provided with one of 9 case histories. Now, the case studies of the 9 patients were antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, or histrionic personality disorder, HPD, or an equal balance of symptoms from both disorders were given to each therapist. Now, each case study were male, female, or sex unspecified, and therapists were asked to diagnose the illness in each case study by rating on a 7-point scale the extent to which the patient appeared to have, from the list of 1 to 9, of the personality disorders. So things like adjustment, alcohol abuse, different types of personality, borderline personality disorder in there, including our antisocial and our histrionic, and they had to rate quantitatively on a scale from the case study they had in front of them how strong they were in each of these 9. Now, the results of the sex unspecified case histories were diagnosed most often with borderline personality disorder. So as they were rating, looking down their list of 9 possible causes for this behaviour, in the sex unspecified, they rated borderline personality as the most likely dysfunctional behaviour being displayed by the patient. Now, antisocial personality disorder was correctly diagnosed 42% of the time in males. In females, it was diagnosed, antisocial personality disorder was diagnosed 15% of the time. Females with antisocial personality disorder were misdiagnosed with histrionic personality disorder 46% of the time, whereas males were only misdiagnosed with histrionic personality disorder 15% of the time. So what it's showing here and what they can conclude is that there is a bias in stereotypical views of genders and a tendency to overdiagnose a histrionic personality disorder to females, even when they have different personality disorders. So what they're showing here is there is a tendency for clinicians to use stereotypical images of women to diagnose them with personality disorders. Now, histrionic personality disorder is based on things that are flirtatious. It's being extrovert towards the opposite sex. It's that sort of 1950s Hollywood type personality disorder. It is very, very female disorder. But it could be that it isn't very female disorder, that it's just been misdiagnosed in males more often than females.